Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I want to tell you the way that I killed both of my parents. As for my mother, even though it is painful that I sacrificed my mom, but it was a little bit better because my mother, she was suffering from high blood pressure. What used to happen to my mom was that when she would wake up, if she would wake up late after the sun would have gone up, then my mom, she will start to feel so hot, so much that she will even collapse. And there were days when my mom, she would cry to God saying, please God, can you just end my life, because the pain that I'm feeling in my body, I cannot and I can no longer take it anymore. So growing up, watching your mom suffering like that, it just made me not to feel any pain at all by the time when I sacrificed her, because she was my first sacrifice. But as for my father, when it comes to my father, it was really hard because my father, he was a good man who was respected in the community. My father was a war veteran. He fought in the wars of liberation during those Bush-Rhodesian War. And after the war, my father was drafted back into the army. And even during those days when there was political violence in the country, my father would always refuse for people to be beaten if they wanted to vote for any political party of their choice. My father would always remind those that wanted to beat people that this was the independence that they had fought for people to be able to vote for whoever that they wanted to vote for. And he was loved because of that. When others were busy telling people to beat anyone who did not belong to the same political party, my father would call a meeting in the community and he would tell all the other community leaders to respect the rights of other people when people will go and vote. So I sacrificed my father in a very painful way, so much that everyone could not even believe that this was the way that my father had died. Let me take you back. When I was still in Botswana, that was when all of my problems began. You see, in the family, there are those people that go to visit traditional healers. Those are the people that will end up disturbing your life and making sure that you will never be able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life. Because when you do not go to consult, you really do not know what God wants you to do and what you must become in life. And those people that always go and consult, they can be told that this child has a spiritual gift that he or she was born with, and because of their jealousy, they'll end up cursing you without you even knowing that you have been cursed. Before I had gone to Botswana, I was studying at a certain teacher's college. I really wanted to become a teacher, even though I knew that there were so many economic hardships that were there in our country. But I said, at least if I can be able to get a job, then I will see what I can do next. Whilst I was in college, things got so hard. This was after my auntie had gone and consulted and had been told that there was one of my uncle who had came back and he was the one that wanted to give me spiritual blessings, like he was following me everywhere I would go to so that he can bless me. So my auntie did not want good luck to find me and she cursed me. I then left Zim because my parents, they were unable to pay for my fees and other things that were required by the college. I then went to Botswana with this other guy that I was now friends with at the same college. And he told me that there was work to be found in Botswana. He was already working for this other man who had a construction company, so he would get some piece jobs and he used to get these piece jobs from people that were very wealthy, and he would also fix shops as well as government buildings, so he was always busy. I told him that I knew nothing about painting houses, but he told me that he was going to teach me everything that he knew, and I was going to become a professional one day. So I started working for that man. As I was working for him, he saw that I was someone that learned really fast. He started to give me my own subcontracts, whereby I would go and I would work on my own, or I would get other people to assist me. He told me that since now he had a lot of contracts, what he wanted me was for me to get a driver's license so that he can give me one of his vehicles so that I can move from one point to another. You know, when you have been cursed by someone, no matter what you try to do, you will never be able to achieve anything in life. This I learned firsthand. When I went to get a driver's license, first of all, you get that provisional. So I got my learner's license, and I was supposed to return back so that I can get the driver's license. But things did not go according to the way that I thought that it was going to be, because at that time when I tried to get a driver's license, I started to have a lot of bad luck, such that even the learner's license, it ended up expiring without me being able to go and get the driver's license, and it got expired. I returned back to Botswana. My boss was angry because he said that I could not work if I could not use a car, even though I knew how to drive, but without a driver's license, how was I going to move from one house to another? So him running a business, he did what he had to do so that his business can continue running. He was not going to wait for me because I did not have a driver's license. He then got another driver. This was a man who knew a little bit about painting, but I taught him more like the way that we used to do it, and he started driving me around. I was now the assistant, and he was like my boss, yet I was the one that had more experience. As time went on, I then started to notice that my boss, he would always give that man more money, and he would always ask him how things were going. And now I had been substituted by the boss. Since I did not have a driver's license, I was now just an assistant. Even the money that I was getting, it was not enough. I then started to struggle. Each and every day I would ask myself, why was life becoming so difficult and hard like this? Yet it seemed as if I had a brighter future in Botswana. Where was the spirit of my ancestors? I then went and I consulted with a traditional healer, because I really did not know what else to do at that time. All that I wanted was for someone to tell me what was going on in my life. So the traditional healer then said to me, come, I want you to look into this basket. There was this other winnowing basket, and he showed me, and I saw that inside the winnowing basket there was my auntie, and he asked me if I knew the woman that I was looking at, the woman that was inside the basket. And then I said to the traditional healer, yes, I know this woman, I know her very well. This is my auntie. What is wrong with her? So that traditional healer told me that my auntie was practicing witchcraft, and she had done some money-making rituals. That was why she was the only one in the whole family, like the whole tribe. She was the only one that was successful. She was the only one that had money, and she had been using the gifts of the other people in the family so that she can enrich herself. As for my auntie, she was someone who had been married to this other white man, and when that man passed away, he left everything for my auntie: houses in Harare, a farm that was well maintained, as well as a fuel service station that was running. But my auntie, she was a bad businesswoman. She ran everything to the ground. The farm, even though at that time she still had the farm, but there was nothing that was being produced there anymore. As for the service station, she ended up selling the service station because she felt totally to manage that service station. All that she was left with were the houses that she had been given by her late husband. So still she wanted to be the only one that was rich in the family so that she can control the politics of the family. So when my auntie went to her traditional healer, that was when she was told that I was the one who had a gift and I had been born to break the bondage of poverty that was afflicting our family, and that was what not she wanted. She wanted everyone to rely on her, to go and beg for money, to always depend on her. She did not want any of her relatives to stand on their own feet and to do their own stuff because she was scared that she would lose control of the family. So I was really hurt when I learned that this was what my auntie had done to me. I could have made it in Botswana because I was told that the spirits of my ancestors, they were the ones that had pushed me to Botswana, in which I was going to get married to a woman there in Botswana who was already on her way leaving Botswana so that she can go overseas and work there. And me being her spouse, I would also be able to follow her. And this was what the ancestors wanted to happen in my life. This was their own blessing that they wanted to bring into my life. But because I had been cursed by my auntie, these men, some of these men that you see that cannot be controlled, men that love women, men that always blow money on women, yet they can't even do anything with the money that they work for. Those men, you should feel sorry for them, because some of them, they have been cursed so that all of their money that they would be working for, they would give women all of the money that they work for. I was told by the traditional healer that back in the days, our ancestors, when they used to hunt and gather food, after a man would have hunted down an animal, the man will bring back that animal to the compound and will give that animal to his wife so that she can take care of everything, and then he would go back hunting. So I was told that when you have that same hunting spirit of your ancestors living in you, and if you have been cursed, then what it means is that your ancestors will keep on trying to hunt. And these days, when you have the spirit of your ancestor in you, if your ancestor was a hunter, they will not stop hunting. They'll keep on hunting, and they will be hunting women, so that when you have some money, once you have money, you take that money and you go and you give it to a woman. Like this will keep on happening. Whilst other people that you will be working with, when they upgrade in life, you will always be in the same position, always working for women. And these women that you'll be giving money to, it's not like those women will be loving you back. So this was what was happening to me now when I was in Botswana. And I used to date a lot of women, whilst the people that I was working with, they were able to buy cars. Some of them, they bought houses, but all of the money that I had, I just sent that money to the women that I was dating, and the women, they loved me because they knew that I would give them money. So I achieved nothing. When I went to Botswana, I came back with nothing. So one day I spoke with the traditional healer. I was telling the traditional healer that I did not know what else to do with my life. He then told me that it is very difficult if you have been cursed by someone who is a ritualist. Your life is always going to be messed up unless if you also become a ritualist. So he told me that he was going to give me a worm that was going to turn out to be a butterfly. And when he told me that this was what he was going to give me, he said that I should give this butterfly food later on after the butterfly would have started flying. So I collected that worm and I went with it back home. I did not know that in order for this butterfly to grow and for it to keep on giving me money, it was going to demand the blood of my parents. He told me that I could start a business now, and when I started a small business, things were running smoothly. I started to make money, and I had a partnership with this other woman who was also a business person. Later on, what would happen is that when I would go into the CBD to sell some stuff that she used to bake, because she had a small bakery at her house, and then I would get robbed. So me and that woman, we started fighting because she thought that I was lying to him. I was lying that I was getting robbed at all the times. I returned back to the traditional healer. He then told me that I was supposed to feed the blood of my parents to the butterfly so that I can be able to make money. The first person that I sacrificed was my mother. My mother appeared in that same basket. And as for me to sacrifice my mother, it was quite easy. I did not feel so much pain because my mother had been sick for a very long time. She had been sick. So then I was told to grab a chicken. I grabbed one chicken that was at the traditional healer's compound. After that, I was told to slaughter the chicken. I cut off the head of that chicken, and at that time, that was when my mother passed away, and we fed her blood to the butterfly. Then I was told later on, this was after a couple of years after I had been running my several successful businesses, I was then told that it was time for me to feed the butterfly again. This time around, I was told that I was supposed to sacrifice my father. As for my father, to sacrifice him, it was not an easy thing to do. My father was okay health-wise. He was still doing good, but I ended up sacrificing my father. He was found dead. My father was found dead. He was in his car and he had been bitten by a snake, and no one saw the snake that had bitten him. That is how my father passed away. So these are the rituals that I did. You know, in life, you can end up doing rituals simply because there is someone that has put a curse on your life. My life was supposed to be okay, Brother Nashi, but because of the curse that was placed upon my life became so messed up, so much that I did not even know what I was working for anymore. And to do rituals, it seemed as if it was the only option that I was left with. This is my story. I don't know how people on your channel are going to judge me or not. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brothers. Strange things, they do happen in this world. He was saying that most of our relatives that love to consult, they can be told by the traditional healers what the future holds for us, and they can end up cursing you so that you can miss your destiny. Like what happened to our brother. He was supposed to get married to a woman from Botswana, and this woman, she already had plans to go overseas. And since he was going to be her husband, she was going to take him with her wherever she was going to, and this was a blessing that had been given to him by God. But because his auntie always consult, she was told and she saw the future and decided to curse our brother. Then there is another story. I don't know if you have read that story or saw it on Facebook, of the 3 kids that were found in the boot of a car. All of them, they were dead, and it is suspected that it might have been some people that tried to do rituals using those kids. They were found in Zim in Harare, in a location that is called Botswana. 3 of those kids that were found in the boot of a car. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. It is a very sad story. As a parent, I can just imagine what is really going on right now, when you know that this is what happened to your kids, what goes on in your mind to bury 3 of your kids. Strange things they do happen in this world. We need to be careful at all the times to always keep a watchful eye on our kids, because people are evil out there. People will do anything for the sake of money. Let us meet again in the following episode.